Hi, class. And so today we're talking about multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. And a monomial is a number or a variable or any product of numbers and variables with the exponents that are whole numbers. So you can't have a negative exponent and you can't have a fraction for an exponent. So this term 4x squared is a monomial. In the parentheses, we have two terms. We have the 3x and we have the negative 2. So these are two separate terms. When they're separated by a plus sign or a minus sign, that makes them different, separate terms. This is a two-term polynomial, which we call a binomial. And in this class, most of what we will see will be a trinomial or less when we're multiplying it. And when we do this, we can distribute. What are we going to distribute? We're going to take this 4x squared and we're going to distribute it among these two terms. Some people say it's like there's a party going on inside the parentheses and the 4x has to meet everyone. He has to meet up with the 3x and he has to meet up with the negative 2. I don't know if I like that or not, but that's one way of thinking of it. So I showed you before how we could use a box to do this. Here I'm just going to do this out. I'm going to say 4x squared. And I'll write it all out for you in this example. In the next one, I will be a little bit more free with with what I'm going to write out. This is 3 times 3x. And then we have a plus 4x squared times negative 2. I could have said minus 4x squared times 2. I just want to keep the negative 2 together. When you multiply these, you multiply the constant terms by each other. So 4 times 3 is 12. And x squared times x to the 1, you don't add the x's. This is all multiplication here. We're not concerned about which terms are like terms here. We're just going to add the exponent. So we have x to the 2 plus 1, which is x cubed. And then we have a negative 2 times 4, which will be a negative 8. And the x squared stays the same. So this is my answer. These terms are different. One is an x cubed in it, one is an x squared. You cannot combine them. You cannot simplify it any more than this. Let's try a second example here. We'll multiply the 2x by the 3x squared, by the negative 4x, and by the 8. I'm going to do this a little bit differently, show you what might go on in your head. I'm going to say it out loud, but I'm not going to write down everything on the paper. First thing, when I multiply 2x times 3x squared, 2 times 3 is 6. X to the 1 times x squared is x cubed. When I go 2 times a negative 4, that's a minus 8. I have the x times x, that's not 2x, it's x times x, which is x squared. And then I have 2x times 8, which is going to be 16x. And so essentially I'm doing the same things I did before, only I'm doing more of it in my head. Now, if you struggle with this, one way to get to this answer that would be somewhat useful is to make a box. We're going to call this an area. The area of a box is the length times the width. The length will be the monomial, the 2x. The width will be the polynomial. So we'll have 3x squared, we'll have our minus 4x, and we'll have our plus 8. So when I multiply 2 times 3, I get 6. X to the 1 times x squared is x cubed. We also have to multiply this term by this one. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. X to the 1 times x to the 1 is going to be x squared. And 2 times 8 is 6. This is going to be a plus 16 and x. And I get the same thing. Maybe this makes more sense to you to write it this way. Good luck and success.